Afghanistan at the start of 2009. 8 years ago, few people, least of all Afghans, would have expected to see international troops still patrolling the outskirts of their capital. All the more so as the lead for security of Kabul city itself was handed to the Afghan National Forces in the previous year. Where, many people demand to know, is the promised peace dividend, the security and space for reconstruction. NATO would be the first to recognize that expectations of swift success have yet to be met. It admits to the urgent need to defeat an expanding insurgency in southern and eastern Afghanistan, as well as in numerous flashpoints all over the country. But armies are nothing if not adaptable to new challenges. In Afghanistan, there's too much at stake for global security in the 21st century for them not to be. And here NATO has proved its credentials as the only alliance capable of delivering that, despite its critics. It's fulfilling a comprehensive agenda of interlinked tasks with Afghan and international partners to build lasting change in security, in governance, in the economic heart of the country. Change for good.
We know that we have a major enemy infiltration route in Wazir Valley in Kogyani district.
In the civil reconstruction wing of a military camp in the eastern city of Jalalabad, Colonel William Fitch briefs his sergeant on plans for a humanitarian delivery the following day and on the local resistance they've encountered to the drop.
The villagers expressed some fear that they would suffer some reprisals from the Taliban, and were not willing at that point to lend their support.
Their destination is Kogyani, an area of rising threat to the foreign forces in Afghanistan and to the Afghan National Security Forces. Kogyani has seen plenty of frontline action recently. A firefight between insurgents and Afghan forces last year left several people dead and the district centre peppered with bullet holes.
We use non-lethal methods to engage the local population. Our methodology basically involves working with the elders and the shurs in the area, trying to gain their support so that they can influence the people of their districts in a positive way.
Hundreds of bags of rice, blankets and warm clothes are offloaded to be distributed to people waiting patiently outside. They live at subsistence level in an area of higher than usual unemployment, prime targets for insurgent recruiters exploiting economic need. Apparently, though, they find little welcome.
The Afghans as a whole, and then the Pashtuns in particular, they are not in support of foreigners, whether they are local foreigners or they are coming from other countries. But sometimes when there is no international support to these people and they are needy and they do not have jobs and they do not have that much resources in their own areas, they automatically become under their influence.
Which is why the new thinking of ISAF's commanders focuses on winning the trust of local people as a real and modern measure of military achievement, helping them to stand independent. It's no longer just about crushing insurgents, for whom many local leaders have open contempt.
خلک چې د بلې خوا نه راځي فرض کړه اینا هلته تقریبا څومره کیلومتره سرحد موږ لرو دغه خلک چې راوړي نور بیا خپله موږ په منطقه کې دا خلک نشته خرابکار خلک نشته چې هغه ورانکاري کوي تخریبکاري کوي د پاکستان نه فرض کړه راوړي هغوی ساریږي نه مقصد چرچه وکړي نور تښتي بیرته.
And so Colonel Fitch's trip is as much about sending reassuring signals as about giving humanitarian aid. This is one of the many faces of NATO in Afghanistan, listening to local people, helping them shape a future that they alone know. Many elders are reluctant to acknowledge the local presence of insurgents, fearing it will chase off rather than attract aid. But here, close to Pakistan's radicalized tribal areas, local people know well their methods. This is an account from one Nangarhar villager who asked that his identity not be disclosed, fearing reprisals.
So when they get training over there, they are getting 3-4 types, like how to fight straight to straight with the enemy, and how to get intelligence report from the area. And the third one is how to put an ID on the roads or in this side of the roads.
Nangarhar borders on Pakistan. This man corroborated Afghan accusations that some of the insurgents get their supplies and training there.
Once I heard from one of our Afghans that he got suicide attack training in tribal Pakistani areas, and he was trying to come to explode himself. He says, when I came in here, I saw that all people, there was no American, no coalition, nobody foreigner. Everybody over there, they were Afghans. So I thought, hey, they are Muslim, I am Muslim, why I should explode myself?
In a blanket of dust, an American Marine Expeditionary Force establishes itself at Leatherneck Camp in Helmand. It will become base for 7,000 Marines, deployed as part of a 21,000-strong American troop reinforcement. Hundreds of armoured vehicles, equipped with roadside bomb deactivating devices, are at their disposal. There are no half measures in the resolve to defeat the insurgents and reverse their control and influence over many parts of the Afghan population.
In the next 6 months, we expect to secure an increasing amount of the population in conjunction with our Afghan brothers in arms to allow better connection between the local population and the government of Afghanistan.
So who exactly are the insurgents? What are their capacities and structures beyond the wistful impressions of imminent victory that they feed out in their videos? Recently, the Taliban and other armed opposition groups have professionalized their operations, evolving into a sort of military criminal complex in which ideological and political mission, criminal and financial alliances at home and abroad, weapons procurement and recruitment, and some support from near neighbours all play their role.
They operate in very small groups, they know the terrain very well, they hide amongst the population, they use all the tricks that they can to make life difficult for us, and so it's a very cunning enemy.
There's ideology, fundamental religion, I suppose the same thing in a way. There's economic and criminal, the narco traffickers, the narco terrorists. Quite a number of the people who we end up fighting are not hugely committed insurgents. They're on the payroll, and if we can provide them with other forms of employment, other jobs, other ways of making money, then they will cease to be insurgents really quite quickly.
With us securing over here,
Colonel Simon Banton, commander of a British unit training Afghan National Army soldiers, is briefed on plans for an operation, joint ANA and ISAF, in Helmand. It's to be the biggest of its kind in the province, designed to clear and link up large areas previously held by the Taliban. As more and more operations are these days, it will be led by the Afghans. Colonel Banton's role won't be to command in the field, rather to mentor and advise one of the ANA's most hardened soldiers leading it, General Khoury Mohiuddin.
the general is charismatic, he's clever, he's funny, he's very, very talented and hugely experienced. The most important thing that General Mohiuddin will do for this operation is he will be the face of this operation, and his warriors and the Afghan National Police will be fighting alongside ISAF, but it will be him that talks to tribal elders, to local leaders, community groups, and he will tell the people that this life will be better with the government of Afghanistan.